Number 10. Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Iggy's Wrecking Balls is a very unique tower-based racing game developed by Iguana Entertainment, the same studio that brought you such classics on the N64 such as South Park, Forsaken 64, and all the Turok games for the system, as well as a dozen more. I have never played anything like this game before to this day. I remember renting it from Blockbuster as a kid, and me and my little brother would have a blast racing against each other in versus mode. And whenever we had a friend over and had the chance to rent a game to show them, this game was always a go-to classic that was also always in stock, because nobody else ever rented this game. In Iggy's Wrecking Balls, you control little cartoon creatures shaped like heads that jump around and use grappling hooks to race each other through over 100 vertical obstacle courses, and attack each other with various power-ups that are scattered all over the levels. The gameplay is really fun and unique, but the music is extremely memorable. Even to this day, I find myself going on YouTube and listening to the soundtrack for this game. It's full of hard bass techno grooves that have me bobbing my head from start to finish. I can definitely say this game has an absolutely top-notch soundtrack for an N64 game. If you have 2 to 4 players, this game is an absolute blast. And with 8 characters to choose from and with an additional 9 characters you can unlock later, this is a game you can get some solid enjoyment out of, even now. Unfortunately, this game never got a re-release on the Virtual Console or anything like that, but luckily you can find it dirt cheap on eBay for about $10. Number 9. Pokemon Snap. What's your favorite first-person shooter? Mine's Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap is the first ever released Pokemon game for the console that was developed by Nintendo and HAL Laboratory, who also made Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, Super Smash Bros., as well as the Pokemon Stadium games for the system. This game was originally planned for the 64DD and was instead developed for the N64, and subsequently released June of 1999. This game is an on-rails first-person shooter where you play as the camera-wielding Pokemon photographer, Todd Snap, as you make your way through beaches, caves, rivers, and volcanoes to capture Pokemon, but this time not in a Pokeball, but on film. Pokemon was so huge at the time, and this is one of those games I rented a lot from Blockbuster as an 8-year-old kid with a weekend to spare playing N64, and the game was difficult enough for me at the time that it took multiple rentals before I could capture all 63 Pokemon available in the game. Pokemon Snap had gorgeous graphics for the time with a soundtrack that I still listen to even to this day. The controls were kind of all over the place, but that's pretty common with most first-person N64 titles. There's lots to do on Pokemon Island. There are items to unlock such as the Apple, Pester Ball, secret switches to activate, hidden Pokemon to snap pictures of, and special events you can trigger on subsequent playthroughs. After each level, you go back to Professor Oak's lab, where you choose one picture of each Pokemon that you will show to Oak, and he judges your pictures and gives them a rating based on how big the Pokemon is, what kind of pose or action the Pokemon was performing, how many Pokemon are in the picture, and you get double points if the Pokemon is in the center of the frame. Blockbuster at the time also had a very cool kiosk where you could bring your Pokemon Snap game cartridge and pay $3 a sheet to have your Pokemon pictures printed off into stickers, which was fun at the time but shortly discontinued. If you have a Wii U, you can still buy this game today on the Virtual Console, but if you want to play the original hardware, you can grab it on eBay these days for about $10. Number 8. While I really love the first Snowboard Kids, I had to put the sequel on my list. Snowboard Kids 2 was released in 1999, a year after the original, due to the amount of success that the first game had and the popularity of the other racing games at the time, such as Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing. The first Snowboard Kids was always a go-to Blockbuster rental for me, until I discovered the Snowboard Kids 2 on the shelf in a game store, and begged my parents to buy it for me as I hadn't seen it on the shelves yet at my local Blockbuster. The best way I can describe this game is picture Mario Kart but on snowboards, and you play as 10-year-old kids with huge noses and sort of an anime aesthetic, as it was published by Atlas, who are based in Japan. This game has you going through super colorful and vibrant, creatively thought out courses while listening to some uplifting music that varies from trance beats to happy hardcore and everything in between, all while blowing your enemies up with bombs, turning them into snowmen, or making them fly up in the air with a parachute. You'll be fan and rocket boosting at high speeds while doing tricks through snowy hills, Aztec jungles, haunted mansions, and even through kitchens as a Honey I Shrunk the Kids style version of yourself, all while earning coins to pick up red boxes for weapons to destroy your fellow boarders, or blue boxes that will give you some kind of advantage such as a boost or a rock to throw down behind you. This game had everything the first game had, but with better graphics, tighter mechanics, new unlockable characters, customizable boards, all new courses, and you could even unlock Mr. Dog, the lovable NPC from the first game. They did release another Snowboard Kids for the Nintendo DS later, but I didn't find it nearly as fun, and unfortunately, this hasn't gotten a release on the Virtual Console yet. If you are looking for a game that is like Mario Kart and that is fun to play by yourself or with up to 3 friends, then you'll have an unforgettable time with this game. Number 7. Bomberman Hero. Bomberman Hero was released in 1998 and is the much anticipated sequel to the 1997 original, Bomberman 64, both developed by Hudson Soft, another developer based in Japan. If you aren't familiar with what Bomberman is all about, like the name implies, he uses bombs to blow up his enemies, and if you played the NES Classic, then you have some idea what this means. But on the N64, it's a whole new 3D world. Now Bomberman can move and throw bombs in all sorts of new directions, and that can lead to some unique and fun game mechanics. This game and the original Bomberman 64 are both games I grew up owning and sunk a lot of time into. I really liked the original for the multiplayer mode, but Bomberman Hero had a much more enjoyable single player experience. Compared to the first game, this one has more levels, attacks, items, bosses, and better gameplay, but unfortunately for the fans of super fun multiplayer in the first game, they scrapped the multiplayer mode completely in this version, but I believe they did that in order to focus more on the single player experience. And just like Snowboard Kids 2, I really enjoyed the first entry in the series, but I have to put the sequel on my list because it took everything from the first game and really polished it up and made it overall better. I really like that Bomberman can now jump and throw bombs further, among other positive changes, and these changes made the game feel a lot more platformy, which is a genre I really enjoy. I still listen to the music in this game. It's a refreshing mix of hip-hop, breakbeat, and techno, and every level has a really unique sound that makes the game feel really atmospheric, and I feel like the composer really took advantage of the sound card. If you're looking for a unique game that is a Japanese platformer that rewards exploration, has an amazing toe-tapping soundtrack from start to finish, and has good variety of different gameplay mechanics, then look no further than this game. It used to be on the Wii Virtual Console, but the good thing is the cartridge only goes for about $13 on eBay. Number 6. Mario Party 2. I will always remember 1998 when the first Mario Party game came out. I was at a friend's birthday party and he had received the game for his 7th birthday, and there must have been about 12 kids at the party. We spent the entire night playing Mario Party, where the loser would pass a controller after each game. From that day forward, Mario Party was hailed as the king of party games, only to be topped by its sequel, Mario Party 2. Released January 24th, 2000, Mario Party 2 took all the things that made the first so great and just added to it, and changed it in all the right places. They kept the same concept, moving from space to space while collecting coins, buying stars and avoiding Bowser, but this time they added collectibles, such as the mushroom that allows you to roll another die, and key that allows you to open alternate paths, and many more, as well as duel, battle, and item minigames, and level-specific costumes. All your classic characters from the first game are still here. You can play as Mario, Peach, Luigi, Wario, Yoshi, and DK. And you can still steal coins and stars with Boo, have all your coins taken away by Bowser, and buy stars from Toad. My favorite addition is the duel mode, because it made landing on the same square as your friend that much more tense, as now you have to go against them in a one-on-one duel minigame, where you can bet whatever amount of coins you want. And the battle minigame is fun because all players have to put in coins into a pot, and the winner of the minigame takes the majority of the winnings. The items made the game much more strategic, especially with the introduction of the magic lamp, which takes you right to the star, and the Boo Bell that is able to summon Boo right to you. Other items like the dueling glove, warp block, and the plunder chest were also an amazing addition to the game, some of which are still in the series to this day. This game also featured some amazing boards, such as Pirate Land, Western Land, Space Land, Mystery Land, Horror Land, and the unlockable Bowser Land, which you can earn by playing all the boards at least once. Just a heads up, this is a game you definitely need to be playing with friends to get the full enjoyment out of, and ideally 4 friends, because the CPUs can be ruthless and soul-crushing to play with. Mario Party 2 is currently available on the Virtual Console if you have a Wii U, but if you want to pick it up on eBay, you can grab it for about $40. Number 5. Harvest Moon 64.
Harvest Moon was released in 1999 to exceptional reviews, and this is the fourth game in the series, developed by Natsume, yet another Japanese developer. This game holds a special place in my heart because it's so damn fun and so addicting. I'm a big fan of the Harvest Moon series, and this version might just be my all-time favorite Harvest Moon game. Harvest Moon 64 is ranked number 278 on the greatest Nintendo game of all time by Nintendo Power, and is the only Nintendo 64 game to win a Parents' Guide Choice Award, as it is a game that met the requirements that must display imagination, creativity, and ingenuity of the first order, while offering a playing atmosphere that is educational and enriching. This game follows the same premise as its predecessors, as you play as a young man who takes over a farm that you must then care for. While you take care of your animals, you can grow crops and become friendly with the townspeople. You wield 5 basic farming tools: the axe, the sickle, the hammer, the hoe, and the watering can. As you make more money and progress, you can pay to upgrade your tools, and this will increase productivity at your farm. I get so addicted to planting and growing my crops, brushing my cows and making sure the horses are okay, going around picking plants up around the farm for some extra money, and checking the shops in the town. This is one of the first games I played that had a night and day cycle that actually made it so the shops were closed at night. It was just a realistic touch that really stuck out for me. And there's never a shortage of things to do in Harvest Moon 64. There are 5 bachelorettes you can convince to marry you, over a dozen festivals to attend, 35 recipes to learn, 6 different animals to raise, and a house to upgrade, and that's just the beginning. If you're looking for a game that is very relaxing, fun, and addictive, then you need to try this game or any of the games in the Harvest Moon series. Natsume originally stated bringing this game to the Wii U Virtual Console would be impossible due to technical limitations. However, in celebration of the series' 20th anniversary, the game abruptly saw a release on the Wii U Virtual Console in 2017, and for the first time ever, people in Europe had the chance to play an official PAL release of the game. But if you want to play this game today and don't have a Wii U, you can get the cartridge for about $40 on eBay. Number 4. GoldenEye 007. I cannot stress enough how much of an impact this game had on my life, and for the people playing this game when it came out in 1997. It was revolutionary for its time. This game is well known for popularizing the first-person shooter genre and multiplayer gaming as a whole, and is the 3rd best-selling game of all time on the home console. Developed by Rare, the same developers that brought us DK, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker, and many more. GoldenEye 007 was the first home console first-person shooter, and for this reason it was mind-blowing in 1997. I must admit the controls do not hold up to today's standards, and if you try to play the game now, you'll still have fun, but the controls can be frustrating to say the least. But in 1997, we didn't care about that or notice the bad controls. We loved the game for what it was, an action-packed joyride with atmospheric levels, tons of memorable weapons, 5-star music, and an amazing attention to detail never before seen in an N64 game at the time. Seeing the guards' confusion when you shoot off their hat, or them freaking out when you shoot them in the leg, was absolutely mind-blowing at the time. The single-player campaign is really fun with lots of atmosphere, details, and unforgettable moments, but the multiplayer in this game is where it really shined for me. I remember the single-player being really difficult for me as a kid, so my favorite part was just to activate the cheats and go around messing with the dumb AI. I would turn on big head mode and paintball mode and invisible mode and just go around exploring the levels and having fun with that. Then there's the multiplayer mode. This is one of the only games I can remember where I actually had my whole family sitting down and playing a first-person shooter against each other. The day GoldenEye released, I got to watch my grandpa and my dad going one-on-one against each other in a first-person deathmatch, which is something I'll always remember. My brother and I spent so many years playing this game against each other, and I remember I would drop proximity mines or in dark areas of the cave level, or use odd job to get an advantage. For the time, the graphics were also really realistic, with detailed environments that you could interact with, smooth animations, great lighting and effects like glass transparencies and lingering smoke, with what felt like at the time a smooth frame rate even while playing multiplayer. But my absolute favorite thing about this game has to be the music. It's still one of my top most listened to N64 soundtracks. Every song is an absolute classic that gets me so hyped, and the uncompressed version has even been uploaded on YouTube. Grant Kirkhope and Graham Norgate did an awesome job composing a score that is so memorable and good from start to finish. Everything from the music to the sound effects in this game are spot on. The guns sound powerful and nothing sounds repetitive or annoying. If you haven't played GoldenEye 007, and you want to experience what it was like playing the first ever console first-person shooter in 1997, then I would highly suggest picking this up and inviting some friends over for a deathmatch. You can pick up the cartridge right now for about $20 on eBay. Number 3. Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 was developed and released by Nintendo in 1997 to enthusiastic reviews and is the highly anticipated sequel to Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. Mario Kart 64 was my first N64 game ever, as well as the first time I had ever played a Mario Kart game up until that point. But I was already a big fan of Mario, so this game was right up my alley. From the moment that energetic music started bumping in my ears and my tires hit Luigi's circuit, I was hooked. The colorful graphics, detailed music and sounds, combined with tight controls and fast gameplay, made for an experience like no other on the system at the time. With the new 3D graphics combined with 2D pre-rendered sprites, the game had a very unique control style compared to the original, while still keeping the same core gameplay mechanics that made the original so fun. Although there were some changes like getting rid of coins and the feather, but you still had your classic items like the green and red shells, bananas, and star. I love the amount of creativity and detail that went into every course, and the fact that you can visit the castle from Mario 64 on Royal Raceway was a huge surprise for me the first time I saw that. And things like the steamboat on DK's Jungle Parkway or the vehicles on Toad's Turnpike were really cool to see at the time. Unlocking the mirror mode that was introduced in this game and the alternate title screen as a kid was really exciting, and I'm glad that it's still something they kept going in all the iterations since. I remember mirror mode, Toad's Turnpike, being a hectic nightmare, but oh so fun. I spent countless hours with family and friends playing this game. To this day, from time to time, my friends and I will bust out Mario Kart 64 on Virtual Console, just for the nostalgia factor. Everyone remembers the battle mode in this game, running around as a bomb, trying to sabotage your friends and blow them up, and to this day Nintendo hasn't been able to recreate a mode as good as this, even on modern day consoles. With a roster of classic characters, unforgettable courses that are still part of the franchise even to this day, iconic music and sounds, it's not a surprise that this is the second best selling game on N64, and if you're a Wii U owner, lucky you. You can pick it up on Virtual Console right now, or you can buy the cartridge on eBay for $30. Number 2.
Hello!
Super Mario 64. Of course Super Mario 64 is on the list, as it's one of my absolute favorite 3D platformers and the best-selling N64 game of all time, with a whopping 11.89 million units sold. Developed by Nintendo themselves and released in 1996 as an N64 launch title, this game took Mario from the 2D world and hurled him into a world of 3D polygons, giving the player a whole new level of control never before seen in any game up to this point. Now Mario can move in any direction he wants in a 3D environment, allowing him to use new moves like the double jump, triple jump, wall jump, ground pound, and long jump, as well as various punch and kick moves and much more. The controls were easy to learn but difficult to master, allowing experienced players to learn more advanced techniques and tricks to complete levels in new and interesting ways. You start off at Peach's castle after being invited over for cake. After learning Bowser has kidnapped her once again, you make your way through various stages by jumping through paintings, completing objectives to earn stars that you use to open more doors that lead to more paintings, that eventually lead you to fighting various mini-bosses and forms of Bowser. One of my favorite things about this game was the amount of hidden levels and secret stars you could find. I liked finding Peach's slide in the wing cap level, where you need to look up into the sunlight of the lobby to find it, and finding Yoshi on the roof at the end of the game. Small details like this made replaying the game something fun, and I remember that kids could talk about the different secrets and share tips and tricks about the game on the playground at school. Super Mario 64 has some of the best platforming in the franchise, with AAA level design, groundbreaking gameplay mechanics, super fun to use power-ups like Metal Mario and the Wing Cap, and so many memorable characters like Big Bob-omb, Ukiki the Monkey, and the baby penguin you sacrifice to the Nintendo gods. I have to mention the soundtrack for this game as well, because it's extremely well done and still very memorable. Classics such as Dire Dire Docks, Koopa's theme still stand out to my mind as top tier Nintendo tracks, and good for taking a good nostalgia trip down memory lane. This game got a remake on Nintendo DS in 2004 called Super Mario 64 DS that got really good reviews, and I enjoyed it a lot. It adds a lot like new levels, characters, and game modes like multiplayer. Super Mario 64 also got a release on the Wii U Virtual Console in 2015, so there are quite a few ways to play this game today if you don't own a cartridge or N64. Number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Zelda: Ocarina of Time makes the number 1 spot, with its gorgeous expansive scenery, game-changing controls, and strong gameplay mechanics. With epic graphics and sound, there should be no surprise as to why. this game has won so many awards and made it onto so many top 10 lists before mine that it's not even funny, and some review publications at the time even gave this game a perfect 10 out of 10 score. You play as Link, who awakens in a village with your fairy Navi, and learns that he must save the world, and it's up to you to make your way through 9 dungeons, defeating bosses, completing environment-based puzzles, and using items like your ocarina, which you can also play to teleport you from place to place, the classic bomb and boomerang, and much more to retrieve the Master's Sword, awaken the 7 sages in order to save Princess Zelda and the world. This game has too many memorable characters to count, and such an amazing attention to detail and charm that only Nintendo can provide. Everything from this game comes together so smoothly and is so well thought out. The music and sound are absolutely out of this world, and even if you don't believe me, go listen to Saria's song or Gerudo Valley theme right now and tell me that isn't amazing. For me, this game is special because it taught me a lot as a kid about puzzle solving, being patient while looking around and exploring my surroundings, how to follow a map, and that you should always leave chickens alone. I would say this game is great for kids who are learning how to read, because there's lots of reading involved and they don't usually have any crazy words, and most of the game is quite straightforward. You can play it without reading a lot of the commentary. The scope of this game is just so huge. The first time I saw a young Link turn into adult Link and realized there was still a whole another world to this game just blew my mind. I remember being the more fond of the light world, as I always found the dark world to be very creepy, didn't like the zombies. The fact that you could ride your horse across Hyrule Fields as an adult though felt very good. It was a huge bonus. It made the environment feel so much bigger at the time. There are so many things to do in this game, from fishing to the Bomb 2 bowling alley, and the amount of side quests is just crazy. If you want to 100% the game, you have quite the adventure ahead of you, because just the main quest alone is about 20 to 30 hours. If you haven't had the opportunity of playing this game yet though, you definitely deserve to do yourself a favor and pick it up. There are a few good ways to play this, but the 3DS remake is my favorite and very faithful to the original. Or like always, you can get the Wii U Virtual Console version, and there's also a GameCube version that comes with a special Master Quest edition that is a more advanced, harder version of the original. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.